Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parents. In today's episode, my parents are ruining my life. Please help, do I move or do I listen to the doubt my parents planted? You can't drink because you need to babysit. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. My parents are ruining my life. My family is enmeshed and it's driving me crazy. My parents feel like they own me and they both have no life of their own. I'm 23F and I moved out last year down the street spur of the moment to get away from them. They both took it like it's absurd I moved out and didn't speak to me for 2 weeks. My mom likes to do this as a power thing, not speaking to me. Anyways, they have no life, no friends of their own. My mom doesn't work, hasn't since she was 20, and spends every day of her life being intrusive and calling me, telling me all of her stress, which are always little things like she has to take the trash out or has to help the neighbor move furniture. She is negative every day and hard to be around because all she does is fill my head with her problems. They find it offensive if I don't go over their house every day, and my dad guilt trips me if I haven't slept over as much as they want. They want to control everything about me and know everything about my life every single day. What I'm doing for work, relationships, my day and night plans, what I ate, where I bought my new clothes, who I was with, etc., etc. They ask to drop things off to my apartment constantly, and if I don't respond to texts and calls they freak out and act like I'm up to something suspicious. Please give me advice. I'm currently looking for a therapist, but I can't live this way anymore. You don't mention setting boundaries with your parents. That's where I would start. 1. Don't call me every day just to complain about something, or because you are bored. 2. I will call you back within X hours if I don't pick up. 3. I am making parts of my life private. You will need to accept this. 4. No dropping by unannounced. Will they fight you on this? Yes. Too bad for them. Stick to your guns, and call back when you said you will. Find an apartment further away, block their numbers once you move, and cut contact. And find a hobby that makes you meet people. Making music, hiking, painting, book club, whatever. Having some friends will improve your independence. You have to go no contact for a good chunk of time. Then if you need, slowly allow them some time with boundaries. But you will need to plan your move, you might need to change jobs. Don't tell them where you are going. Cut contact and send them a letter why. You might even alert your local police station what you are doing if you think they will report you as missing. Just disappear and learn to live your life. Get a therapist, make a plan. And start living for you. They'll have a harder time ruining your life if you move further away and cut them off. Nothing will change until that happens, unfortunately. You don't owe them anything. Block them. They have even told me they are my parents, gave birth to me, it's my job to make them happy and please them. My dad has said that so much to me it makes me sick to my stomach. Yes, I need to do that ASAP. Put a few state lines between you. Otherwise, tell them there will be no sleepovers, no dumping their negativity, no multiple phone calls a day, no unexpected visits, and no intrusive questions. If they complain, all they'll get is a 30-minute phone call once a week. You definitely need to move further away and also set some clear boundaries. You are an adult, so you can control how much contact you wish to have with them. Them trying to guilt trip and manipulate you is behavior which I doubt they will change, but you have full control of how you react and interact with them. Look at it this way, do you still want to be putting up with this in 2, 5, 10 years' time? I think not. If you don't want to live like this, don't. Set boundaries and enforce them. Stop telling them things. Stop going over to their house every day. No, you cannot come to my house today. If they show up anyway, do not answer the door. Please help, do I move or do I listen to the doubt my parents planted? I, 21F, recently moved back in with my parents after moving out at 18. I'm currently working 2 jobs to go back to university, but when I first moved in with them I struggled to find work, which I was criticized in every conversation we had for. Since moving back in there's been a lot of arguing, as one of my parents suffers from OCD and reacts badly to anything in the house being out of place. These fights and other petty arguments worsened, and one of them made me pack up my room, in suitcases, boxes etc., and I am now sleeping on the couch/living out of a suitcase in my living room. They followed through on their promise to throw out anything I didn't pack. I got home from work and 50% of my toiletries/beauty products are gone when I came back in from work. The next day that parent was very emotional and apologized for the fact their behavior when I was growing up, drug use, partying, neglect, made me into such a terrible person. I do admit I have stolen some of their wine since moving back home, which is very shit. Honestly, since moving back home it reminded me how depressed and terrible I felt as a kid. I just am starting to doubt if moving to a more affordable city to attend university is the right move for me right now. I was pretty isolated during COVID and living overseas, and the friendships I've been building make me happy. I'm also not financially super comfortable. They tell me I'm escaping my problems wanting to move. I did leave the country for almost 2 years, and I've lost a lot of my own self-confidence/have new doubt about myself. On the other hand, the pettiness of making me sleep on the couch plus feeling pretty dehumanized by no longer having my own space has lit a fire within me. I moved out the first time was to accommodate my older sibling who just left a rehab/mental facility and couldn't live alone, so I guess I am bitter about that too. It's very common where I live for children to stay with parents till 25 or so, and they asked for me to stay with them when I back. Do I struggle and move out/finish my schooling whilst adding a big financial investment burden of paying for rent, or do you guys think that it could be helpful for my mental state? I feel like I'm being overdramatic. Sorry for the long post. Edit. Okay, I never thought everyone would be on my side. I got such a warm feeling in my chest reading these comments. Thanks for all the support and advice. I don't find out till tomorrow if I get into my course, but even if I don't, I'm still going to move out. We'll keep y'all updated when I do, because you guys all helped get me across the line and make the right decision. I think you know the answer. It's scary but doable. Move quickly and quietly. Good luck. But when they start complaining about you moving out, place the blame on them where it belongs. You made me feel very unwelcome in the house by making me live out of boxes in the living room, and you threw away my personal property that I spent a lot of money on. No, I don't want to live with you. There comes a point where living out of a car is better for your mental and physical health than living with people who make you feel less than human. Only you can decide if you've reached that point. I'd say contact your school and see if they have any services that might help. Some do. Just move. Get into therapy. It's hard but doable. You can do this. They have OCD so bad that they were bothered by things being out of place in your room, so they made you move into the living room and live out of boxes and suitcases? How does that even make sense? You need to get out of there and never look back. Agreed. OCD is not an excuse to be abusive and controlling, and yes, throwing out someone else's belongings who lives with you is abusive. If it's that bad, then that person needs to be medicated. However, getting them treatment and help is not OP's responsibility, especially as they've allowed it to get as far as abusing OP. OP needs to move out and stay out for their own well-being. They are clearly not welcome in this house anymore, and I would recommend to go and see. Time to move and look into loans for your schooling. You know you are better away from them. You can do this. You are being abused and manipulated. Get out ASAP. And if you have a problem that is trapping you in a miserable place, escaping it is the right thing to do. Not all problems can be solved. Sometimes you just need to move on and put them behind you. NTA, GTFO of there, and cut all ties. They don't deserve to have a child. The best investment you can make is figuring out who you are, not letting someone decide who you are so they can be happy and you can be miserable. Move and remember that those problems are easier to handle than those owned by parents but dumped on you, just saying. You can't drink because you need to babysit. I think every female family member who is the youngest of the adult generation, or at least a teen, can relate to this. Yesterday we had a kinda big family function for the 80th birthday of my gran. My mother's younger sister there with her kids, preschool/elementary school age. And like every single time I, 20F, was expected to watch the little demons while her mother can have some adult time. Don't get me wrong. I like them, but in small doses. And I can't understand why me, since her husband was there. Since the weather was nice, it was a barbecue in my gran's garden, or a backyard like Americans would say. It was good. I saw some cousins of my generation. Some of them I haven't seen in years. So since I had Saturday off, I work in healthcare, I shared a beer with my cousins and catched up. Well, then my aunt came in and asked why I dared to drink since I have to watch over her kids today since she needs some adult time. I just asked her what's about her husband and she gave me the whole sob story of he worked all week. LOL, I did that too. Even made overtime in the nursing home I'm working in, and that's his day off, again. Mine too, and that he is on the grill, he's literally standing next to my uncle who is actually grilling and sips beer. So I looked her dead in the eye and chugged the entire beer that I just opened, 0.5-liter bottle, looked her dead in the eye while my brother, the saint he is, took the empty bottle out of my hand and gave me a new one. I told her sorry, but I already drank. She left in a huff, and of course she told my mother and my gran, and of course my mom was upset with me because she's my aunt and yada yada. The only ones on my side were my brother and my stepdad, who nearly pissed himself laughing when he heard what I did. Happy birthday to your gran. They are forced to be away from their family to work, then when they have time they push their kids off on someone else. I bet they are gonna blame TV and the internet for the kids acting out because they were never wanted. I would have told her I'm sorry, I already worked over 40 hours at my real job. If you expect me to babysit, I expect 48-hour prior notice, and my going rate is double your hourly rate, PR hour PR child. Are you willing to pay that in cash today? No? Then you'll have to watch your own children while I relax with the rest of the adults. And make sure you have witness to this conversation so she can't say she'll pay then renege. And she should probably get the money up front. Get a shirt made. Babysitter, $20 an hour. Did you tell EA that you work too, your day off too? I would. Keep making a stand until she notices you are not her stand-in sitter. I hate when folks do this with their kids. You are 120 years old? No one should tell you what to do. Seriously though, their attitude stinks. Opie is 120 years old, and her granny is only 80? Does the family own a DeLorean and flux capacitor? 120 months. Opie is 10 years old and chugged half a liter of beer but is too young to have a Reddit account. They can have adult time when their children are adults themselves. Adult time as if you aren't an adult yourself. Babysitting while the parents are available, hell no. Entitlement to other people's time. I would show up pre-drunk to every event. Let the people who she complained to babysit. Seriously. They were an adult 102 years ago when they turned 18. Perhaps your mother and your gran should be responsible for watching your aunt's children since they have such strong opinions on the subject. When my brother and his wife welcomed their first kid, they were joking how I can't go out drinking every weekend now because they might need a babysitter. I had just turned 18. Comments like this are jokes, but not really. They were essentially gauging your reaction to see if they could get away with it. When people do this, you should respond with a joke letting them know you make your own choices, like, of course, I charge $40 per hour. Set your own limits right away before they start expecting it for real. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.